Hello friends. So this is the 12th and the last lecture on Aristotle's Poetics. Tragedy, we have seen, is an imitation of an action that is serious, complete and of a certain magnitude, embellished in language, embellished with each kind of artistic ornaments, several kinds being found in separate parts of the play, in the form of action, not of narration, through pity and fear. That is the point here. Catharsis. Through pity and fear, effecting the proper catharsis or purification of these emotions. So that is the last part, catharsis. Catharsis is a medical metaphor that is used by Hippocratic school of medicine. And also you can see it used in homeopathy. I will tell you why. I think in one of my lectures I have already pointed this out. Anyhow, there are these two emotions. That is pain causing pain. Pity, it causes pain in you. Fear, it causes pain in you. Because they are actually morbid emotions. Morbid. You know, you want to disburden it. You don't like to go on pitying or expressing pity for anything, or go on expressing, suffering fear, not expressing fear, but you suffer fear, you know. So both these are emotions, and these morbid emotions or painful emotions, and so every human being wants to get rid of this. One of the social functions of tragedy is catharsis. That way. Also it is a personal, means you are in a process of imaginative unity with the actors on the stage. And actors on the stage is nothing but imitation, not reality, you know. Because otherwise you can only act one play in your life, if it is reality. Always remember this, we should always remember that this is an imitation. Imitation of an action. That's what we should. Now you see, the emotions, what happens in a tragedy? And first of all, what is pity? Pity is an emotion that is caused in you when you find somebody like you. That's the thing. If somebody like you struggling with an unequal destiny, then suffering, his suffering is far greater than what he deserves. In such a case, you feel the person is like you, ideal tragic hero. He shares our general humanity, common humanity. So, when he is suffering, a person is suffering beyond what he requests to suffer, or beyond his capacity to suffer, unmerited suffering. Then, in an imaginative unity with that person, what happens is you feel pity for him. Pity for him because there is no answer to that. I have already told you, compassion, you have an answer, charity. Okay, no charity, no. A dying Othello, what can you do? Dead Hamlet, how can you prevent it? It has to happen. Right? Macbeth, moving towards his doom, it has to happen. You cannot, like a good Samaritan, go and tell Macbeth, don't do this, I will help you. Nothing of that will happen. Nothing of that can happen. So what happens is that emotions heighten to their utmost capacity. Maximum, imagine a pressure cooker is about to break. That situation, utmost capacity. Within the imaginative freedom intrinsic in the cognitive and emotional experience, that is tragedy. So what is tragedy? Cognitive and emotional experience. Cognitive is, you know, you understand, say that. Emotional experience. So these emotions are heightened to the utmost capacity. That's the thing. So that has to be given a vent. You have to let off steam, otherwise you will break like a pressure cooker. So, emotions heighten to the utmost capacity. There is a principle here, you know what is it? Internal tumult can be calmed by external tumult. Because when you see a pity and fear, you are internally, there is an internal tumult. And then that can be cured by or calmed by an external tumult on the stage. Plato gives an example. Plato says, babies, you rock the babies to induce him to sleep. Why you are rocking now? There is an external tumult. Because the baby is always in internal tumult, insecurity feeling. That's why the baby, when you hold the baby in your hands and then say like this, wah, 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 whoa, wah, wah, whoa, like this, sleeps. So an external, internal tumult can be a disturbance. Tumult means a terrific disturbance, you can say. That can be cured by an external tumult. Or in as we have seen, I think I have told you already in one of the lectures, homeopathic principle is similia similibus curanda. That is Latin. Similia similibus curanda. Curanda. That means cure means cure. Similia means similar things. Similar things can be cured by similar things. In homeopathy, I don't know, I am not a homeopathic doctor, but in homeopathy, principle is if you go to a homeopathic doctor with a headache, he will create another headache in you. Not by seeing him, but he creates by medicine, he induces another headache. So then, one headache will cure the other headache and then both will go out. That's the principle. Listen. Like this. Your mind is when you are viewing a play, seeing a play, and when you identify yourself with the hero, the suffering hero, who is like you, who shares your humanity, and he suffers, then what will happen is there is what we call a shadow in him. Oh, he suffers, and the same thing can happen to me. There is a shadow, there is shadow. Like you shiver, so that is fear. So both this. Another interesting thing to note this is that he says pity and fear, not pity or fear. Underline that. Mark that point. As advocates, mark that point. So, pity and fear. When you feel pity for a person who is suffering, and that suffering is unmerited, it is beyond his capacity, it is his human destiny, then what happens? You also think that the same thing will happen to me, and that sends a shudder, a shiver, a cure from top to bottom of your body. So both these are morbid emotions. These have to be purified. And that is, when your mind is full of these morbid emotions, then you find another on the stage, then both will cancel or neutralize each other. And then a calm, a purified feeling you will start enjoying a purified feeling. So there is cognition, means we understand. And this is what happens here is, it is within the imaginative framework. It has got a therapeutic use, function. Stage and the play has a therapeutic use. Therapeutic means therapy, treatment. But that doesn't mean that all the people who are coming to the theatre are patients. No, because this is temporary. This heightening of emotions, curing of this emotion, purifying of these emotions, this is temporary. Otherwise, as I told you, there can be only one, an actor can only act only once. Because this is imitation. And when your emotion is heightened, then finally it is calmed by way of the process which I have already told you. Then what happens is, you feel a kind of calmness. You see a chaotic world. The world is disturbed by evil, entry of evil. The world of the play. Then you find at the end, there is the chaos, there is calm, and there is into that world. The chaos is, the disorder has disappeared, the disruption has disappeared, now calmness and order has come to stay. At the end of the play, Malcolm comes, there is a hope. Hamlet, 14 plus comes to rule. See? So you find that you are satisfied. Your moral, you think that your moral bent of mind is satisfied. Suppose on the other hand, as we have already seen, Iago becomes a king. You will be terribly, you feel there is some problem in the world. So now to understand this, you should also try to listen to ideal tragic hero and the plot, the importance of the plot. Tragic plot of the tragic. Another function of this is, suppose certain people, their emotions are petrified and blunt. They cannot express. When they see this, they start expressing this. And expressing these morbid emotions and then purifying that is also very important for your healthy living, well-being. Because what is the end of fine arts? It is emotional delight, rational pleasure. So catharsis should lead to, should be able or should function in such a way that you enjoy a kind of pleasure at the end of the tragedy. Go out of this calm. Instead of chaos, order descends in the world. All the disturbed moral world is put back into order. See? All the evil that has been flourishing, destroyed, and then virtue has descended. When you see this, you feel very happy. Your moral sense is satisfied. So, another function of catharsis is blunted and petrified emotions start coming back to life. And you start expressing. You remember there's a famous poem, home they brought her valley of death. The problem when all the people surrounding her, they were afraid because she is not crying. She can't express her emotion. If she has to express her emotion, she should be conscious of it. She is not conscious. Some petrified state of mind. You can say petrified. Petrified means like a rock. And finally, those people, a psychological technique they used, and that is, they said, think of this baby. Baby has no one to look after. So she felt pity. See that? She felt pity and fear. What is the fear? That if I also die an untimely death, what will happen to this baby? So there is pity and fear. Heightened immediately. Not like a tragedy, but by the suggestion of these people, she cries, and then everybody thinks that, oh, there is a great relief. So it's a social function of tragedy. No, catharsis is a social function of tragedy also. That people may live happily. That people may disburden these morbid elements of fear and pity. Understand? Another aspect of catharsis is, this purification is, as you can see, therapeutic use, I have already told you. See, in Hamlet, there is a play within a play, what we call meta-theatricality. Meta means other, metaphysics means other physics. Meta-theatricality, that means a theatre within a theatre. That's other theatre. It was a psychodrama, just to find out how the mind of Rodius and Gertrude will work. See that? So actually, what is it? It's a kind of therapeutic use it has got. So also you can see in the world, suppose we think like this. The drama is a meta-theatricality, the tragedy is a play within a play. What is play? Tragedy on the stage is a play. And what is the other play? Other play is your life. Shakespeare says, no, all the world is a stage. All the world is a stage. So, we are acting a drama or a tragedy or a drama, let us say, on the stage of this world. And on the stage of this world there is another drama acted. And that is meta-theatricality, as in Hamlet. So we are acting, they are also acting. So in their acting, our emotions are excited. Understand? So, and then you see that it is excited, it is heightened. Your cognitive ability helps you to understand it, and then what happens is your emotional experience. Cognitive ability and emotional experience combined, you feel relief. I hope you understand. Hamlet has a play within a play. In our life, we have a play within a play. Our play is our life. Within the play is the tragedy that is acted on the stage. So it has got a therapeutic use, like Hamlet's play within the play. Our therapeutic use is that we are cured of, we get relief, we are calmed down by first heightening excitation of fear and pity and fear, and then calming down. Understand? So it is a medical metaphor, and it has got social function, it has got a personal function. It can disburden your morbid elements, pity and fear, and how pity and fear are caused in you, that we have seen. And it has got one more, that is petrified emotions can be made, you can induce and help the suffering person to express this, as that lady in whom they brought her 5-year dead. Understand? So this is very important. When you say that, when this calm descends, you understand that there is a moral principle working in this world. It is in fact, it is, you discern higher laws of nature. You see the higher laws of nature. And because at the end you have a pleasurable calm. See? So, tragedy is a picture of human destiny. So you feel that this can happen to me. Human destiny with all its significance, it can happen to me. So you feel pity. You pity the protagonist. Why? Because you are afraid that tomorrow you will take the protagonist's place. That's the reason. So when the process of heightening and coming down, there's purification. Listen, that's the emotional delight and rational pleasure descends after this. So that is catharsis. I hope it is clear to you, isn't it? Isn't it? It's clear to you? Yes. Always remember, this catharsis is temporary. It's not permanent. Because tomorrow also you will be going and seeing another place. Then the same thing, you will experience the same thing. Understand? And then, with this, I think that catharsis has a personal, social, and also you have seen it has got the capacity to make people express their emotions. Yes. When suppose all your emotions are sleeping, how can there be a catharsis? First you have to express it and then you calm down. So first you have to create the flame. Only then you can see it calming down towards the end or after some time. If the firewood is there, nothing happens. But on the other hand, when you ignite it, and then for some time it will go up in flames. And when the energy is burnt, it becomes ashes, calm and quiet. So our emotions, once it is purified, it is an intellectual clarification, clarity of mind. It creates a clarity of mind in you, a pleasurable calm, as I have said, and that is catharsis, or the through catharsis affecting pity and painness. So the definition ends like this: in the form of action, not of narrative. Narrative, that's especially about epic poetry. Epic poetry, epic and drama, that is a drama. The difference is epic is told, narrated. Epic is something that has happened in the past. You are listening to that. Epic can be long. There is no need of any, say, revolution of the sun or a time limit for that. Again, for example, the Trojan War can be subject matter, or it can supply plots for more than 100 tragedies. So it is something past, but the play is before you, present. Immediacy is there. So that is why Aristotle gives the most important place to the plot. There are many plots in epic. Can be lengthy. Any number of characters. Any number of plots. It is narrated. And of course it uses a meter. It is metrical. Here it may not be metrical, but it can be metrical. See? So that is the difference between, that is on the sidelines of this. Suppose you get a short note on what is epic. You can write a paragraph on that, on the basis of this, what I have just told you. Understand? So that's why it is not in action, in the form of action, not of narrative. Action in the sense that it is present before, it is present tense. The other is past tense, past perfect tense. It can be. This is here, it is present tense. See that? So that's very important. And one is acted and the other is narrated. These are two very important differences between the epic and the drama, means tragedy. So the definition runs like this: in the form of action, not of narrative. through pity and fear. Through pity and fear. So these two things should happen on the stage. The plot is arranged in such a way. The plot is constructed in such a way. The spectators should feel pity for the hero and fear for the spectator. That's the thing. It's a given thing. You feel pity and then you are afraid. Listen, a shiver. You feel a shiver. Oh, it's an impending danger. This is going to happen to me. Then you forget all those things that we have said in. You forget the count of months and years. You have got a transport feeling. You forget everything else except what is going on the stage. And you one with that. There's an imaginative union with what is going on. And you feel the whole thing that is happening to you. And so your emotions are excited to the highest point. Then when the end of the play you find the moral world comes back. And then you feel a calm and quiet. You feel calmness and quietness of the minds. The chaos has disappeared. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark that has been rectified. It is like an inflated balloon. And then prick it will be deflated. Come on. That is catharsis. I hope you have followed what I have told you. You have enjoyed my lectures and useful to you. If any corrections I have to make, you can inform me. I will try to do my best to suit my lectures to your needs. Okay, promise. Now the next one, I have already done work on, now Aristotle is over, the Greek. Then I have given lectures on Horace, Ars Poetica, and Longinus on the Sublime. Now my next author is in critical theory. Literary theory is Sir Philip Sidney's An Apology for Poetry. When you go through what Sir Philip Sidney has written, you will find a very interesting thing. And you know what is that very interesting thing? You will see whatever Aristotle has said, whatever Horace has said, whatever Longinus has said, you will find in that. This is how he is defending poetry. Apology means defense. Apology doesn't mean I beg your pardon, that also is there, but it's not defense. I have already told you, apologetic fathers of the 2nd century means those fathers of the church who tried to defend the Christian faith. Not that they were asking pardon to somebody. Very vehemently disturbing, not disturbing, but defending their faith. This is apologetic fathers. So apology or defense both mean the same thing. Apology, an apology for poetry. That's very interesting reading. The first great Renaissance critic, you can say. The first great Renaissance critic. Alright, we will have more on this Renaissance critic, Sir Philip Sidney, who had a very short life. As you know, you may know that unfortunately became a victim of septicemia. Septicemia means poisoned blood. Septicemia. So he died an untimely death, we can say, a tragic death. And these things we will see tomorrow. After going through the tragedy, now I am presenting before you an actual tragedy, that is the death of self-elusiveness. So once again, and the last about tragedy. Tragedy is an imitation of an action that is serious, complete, and of a certain magnitude in language embellished with each kind of artistic ornaments, the several kinds being found in separate parts of the play. That is to distinguish it from Ditharam. We have already seen that. Separate parts of the play. The form of action, not of narrative, that is to distinguish it from epic. Through pity and fear, effecting the proper catharsis or purification of these emotions. The technique of purification is first you excite it and then it will calm down. Okay friends, I hope that you have enjoyed and happy about my lectures. So we will see again with another great Renaissance critic, another great literary critic, that is self-elusiveness. Till then, bye. Have a nice time. Enjoy your life. Bye.